This video for my English languages. Illusion Il-86. Short flight only of navigation systems. INS, Russian INS navigation systems. Its name И-21. Current aircraft set is ready to flight. You can download this model on AFSIM forum. That is model. This model is loaded with running engine. You not need to start up it. Press Shift and 1 key and click of this area. And click Shift 1 again. Press Shift 1 again. In this little panel you can see some amount of button. To flight on this model you need to set up your joystick. This button call a window of setup a joystick. You see a channel of your joystick. I do not set up on this gauges. I install and set up my joystick by FSU IPC. But you can know to other setup of joystick on this model. In these flights you need set up this autopilot and navigation system. It is a NS system based over IRS National Reference System of this aircraft. In this video I will not tell you about setup and prepare to flight all system of this aircraft, only of the navigation system. For flight using this system you need to set up and programming it. In this video I program my flight in FlySim commander. This short flight. I depart from Murmansk and arrival to Telegi, Arkhangelsk city, and 3 point of this flight I programming for this gauges. In FlySim commander select show coordinates. It's help you to program these gauges. Short of weight of which it is. You see 2 selector on these gauges. Primary selector in real aircraft, its position of right side of first officer. Its selector has 5 position. First position is off position. Second, heat position. Third, setup current position. Fourth, navigation position. Fifth position is not involved. in this release. Secondary selector has 9 position, control position, aircraft coordinates, setup position, control alignment RS position, point to flight programming position, bearing and course position, position of S and Z is his coordinate system. This position is ground speed and slip angle, time position. So, to set up with gauges, you need press Shift Z K to show you coordinates, latitude, longitude. Set this selector to control position, and on this selector set heat position, all lamp and indicate on these gauges, and white to illuminate with no ready lamp, and select setup position, and of this selector select latitude longitude position. Press 2K to north latitude or SK to south latitude. North, illuminate this button, it's enter button, and enter these coordinates. Press enter and press western or eastern longitude. I have eastern, E button, and enter these coordinates. Press enter and select on this selector to alignment position. I click on this mouse zone to accelerate alignment of IRS in National References System. And when it alignment, you see a bearing of aircraft, and select this selector to navigation position. Not ready lamp is disagree, and with gauges is ready for navigation. Second, you need programming the flight plan point. This selector is select the flight plan point. 0 point is current aircraft position, not need to programming. Select first plan point in FlySim commander. Its name Luma, and we need to programming with coordinates in the first plan point. Switch with selector to program point. With selector to point you need, for example, first point. And press this button for north coordinates, latitude, or H button to south. If you are in the south hemisphere, I'm in the north hemisphere, and I press 2K north. (66, 46, 0 seconds). Press enter and enter the longitude. Eastern. Press 6 button. Enter. First point programming. Select second point. This point, name it Gimmet, and we perform the same action. Press north, 65, hour, 57 minus 5 seconds. Enter. Eastern longitude 33 hour 50 minus 4 seconds. Enter. Next point. It's easy to understand and use gauges. Same. 65, 01, 4. Enter. Eastern 35, 43, 5 seconds. Enter. And 4. It's coordinate of airport of arrival. (64, 35, Eastern 40, 43, 0. Enter. That's all you need to programming. If you mistake in the input process, for example, I select 5 point, it's no in my flight plan. Only for example, press enter. You press this button, it's reset button, and all. When you do the same steps to the second gauges, switch to heat position, whiten for illuminate not ready lamp, switch to setup position, and set coordinates of aircraft, north. East 32, 45, 1, enter. Switch to alignment position, click mouse on this place to quick alignment of IRS system. White. It's all. On the second gauges show you true course, switch with selector to navigate position, lamp is disagree, and ready to programming flight point. Switch with selector to point position, first position, and same programming. The next thing to do, you need select the line, course line, first course line of my flight plan. At this line, 0 point of 0 point to 1 point, first point. To set up this line, you need switch with selector to MyNL position, change course line, press button to change course line, and select course line you need. In mine, I select 0, 1. And press enter. And select automate change flight point. In these gauges, I do same changes. 0, 1, enter, automate. This selector change mode of autopilot. It can be automate change flight point or manual change flight point. I select automate change flight point. When I fly to first plan point, it automate change course line to first and second flight point. And that's all. The same gauges is ready to flight. I switch in these gauges true course and bearing, and in these gauges I switch to coordinates of flights. In this position you can control, you insert the coordinates. This number is distance of first course line. In Flight Sim Commander I can calculate this distance 165 miles. 165 miles is 306 kilometers. 309 kilometers with margin of error. And we continue to set up the aircraft flights. Set up the autopilot. First you need to do is turn on the autopilot. Select the INS or navigation system. I can fly off first gauges and I select E-11. It's this INS system. Так, second you need to do is set up base parameters. Set up the lights. It's landing lights and it's taxi lights. I own the taxi lights. I do not set up the overhead panel. It's not neat on these flights. I still go to close this panel. It's not neat in this time. And we need to set up the pressure. Press Shift 1 to see this panel. Uninstall current pressure on altimeter, set it to 0. Close this panel. And you need to set up a trimmer to up position. I press K on my joystick. With gauges 6 or 7 position. And we're ready to taxi to runway. My takeoff view on the nearest tower. First beacon, nearest beacon. Fine picture. Siberia winter. Second beacon. And we go to the first course line. On the runway, I forgot about coordination with navigation system, primary navigation system. Go to overhead, switch with selector to MK, magnetic, course, set up the latitude, current latitude 68, and press alignment button. This needle on the runway show a course of this runway. And switch with selector to this position again. Close the overhead. Set up the autopilot. L navigation selector. With selector switch to Navig. It's L navigation system on this autopilot. And install altitude of flights, flight level in the meters. I install 7000. Level flights. Now I extend the flaps. On this aircraft it's full extended with gauges. Show the position of flaps. 30 startup points. And we're ready for takeoff. Up the engine. And go. Speed up. It's kilometer per hour. V1. Rotate. Gear up. Flaps are up for one position. trim the aircraft. First beacon. And engage the autopilot and auto throttle. And I see little issue on the horizontal indication, horizontal situation indicator not translate my course. I switch to other gauges, second gauges, and when I see on these gauges my course line, and this needle show me where I can fly. And I press this button. It's landing navigation engage button. I very quick up the aircraft. And a little down. Decrease the speed of up. Linear deviation go to 0. And the aircraft on the course line. My autopilot engage the landing navigation. In the first INS system I see my course, magnetic course. On the second gauges INS I see distance of second point. I programming. In the flight sim commander I connect GPS to see where my aircraft is flying. And I see my aircraft on the first course line. The INS system is provide my course. $20,000 62 kilometers, 261 kilometers distance to the second points. And in these points, this gauge automatically switch to next points. On this selector you see my current speeds and angles and slip angles. At this position you see a time to arrival to the next point of line. If you see illuminate this lamp, you need to be trim plane I trim to a neutral position and the lamp is disagree. This lamp show me to eye up the trimmer. This lamp show me we engage the INS system, E-11 system. "22 minutes to arrival to the second points of lights." When I hide the type over here, I engage vertical navigations of these aircrafts and it stabilizes the altitude of flights. This position not simulated. The linear lateral deviation set to 0 and it's very good. "5,000 meters, 16,000 feet. It were 20,000 feet. I hold the altitude by press this key, lamp button, and the aircraft hold the current altitude. I will not climb further, but I have very short flights at the distance of linear turn anticipation. UC illuminates this lamp, change the course line, it shows you horizontal situation indicator, translate you. Second course line, and the aircraft automatically turn to the next course and go to the next course line at point first to point 2. Linear deviation goes to plus and then goes to minus. And the aircraft goes to course line. In this position of this selector you can see the coordinates of aircraft in the real time. In this time of flights, second course line, I set up the ILS system. Its system present on overhead, frequency of ILS, and course of runway VI landing. Disconnect with GPS to see this runway. Так, I see in my utility runway frequency. It's 110.3. Install this and course 080. Then I close the overhead and continue the flights. We are finishing the current course line. Distance of anticipation, change course line, add second to third, and we go to a sunrise. Turn the aircraft at the map. This point is point of top of descent. At this point we descended to the arrival airport. I accelerate the time. When we are turned, I descend the aircraft. Five kilometers, 4 kilometers. Flight sim commander. Sound. Aircraft turn to the next course line. And I can descend now. I click to this mouse zone. To set up the descending speed. At that moment the aircraft is turning and we not see the descending. Reduce the speed to the 4000 now. Reduce the altitude to the ILS, enter. Altitude. It's 900 meters. And increase the speed of descent. If this lamp is illuminated, I trim aircraft. To normal speed of descent. $200 kilometers to airport. At 10,000 feet, I turn on runway and landing lights. If you need, we can set up a beacon of airport, NDB beacon at the overhead with primary beacon and secondary beacon. I don't not set up this at these flights because it's not need to me. Close these windows. I leveling the aircraft at 3000 feet. And on the gate hold the altitude. I very early descending. Trim the aircraft. And waiting for the ILS glide slope. 15 kilometers of airport. Use the factory and manufactured zone of Arkhangelsk. This button show you capture approach. You need to turn this selector to approach mode, this mode, and this button you need to click to aircraft autopilot, go into approach mode. And go into approach. Wings not need at this moment, and awesome. I close it. In present time we are going to the ILS of Arkhangelsk. Reduce speed to 300 kilometers per hour. Flaps down. Gear down. Flaps down to 15. And waiting for capture ILS and glide slope. The yellow line goes down. You'll see the runways, and press this button lamp to hold the ILS, to intercept the ILS. It illuminates and aircraft goes down. Down the flaps to 30. Trim the aircraft. And we on the glide slope. This mode illuminate of this lamp. Reduce the speed to 28. It's landing speed of this aircraft. And the aircraft at the landing configuration. Now you need to trim this. The aircraft not the line, overrun the line, because oh no, I think a wind and wind will not be. The early morning over Arkhangelsk, and we landing in this airport. Install we go around altitude. It's 1000 meter. This aircraft not have auto brake. We can brake manually. And I forgot to install the pressure at the altimeters, sorry for this. At this time I turn off the autopilot. I like manually landing. First beacon. Altitude. Landing. Second beacon. Reverse. Flaps up, and you see other aircraft on the runway. It's traffic. And we can continue to landing. Overrun the light. Stop on this. And see my landing at other point. CIVA landing at the nearest tower. It's very interesting model of aircraft. The dynamic of this model is very good. And other view. Goes to the terminal or parking brake or parking position, sorry. And this is the end of this video and these flights.